fuck's sake, and you never want to know. Yeah, oh Daniel, hello, fucking hell, where'd you come from 5 years later? Well, they used to go through Manchester, yeah, well, not through it, Manchester's here, yeah, and they'd go just, not through the centre, yeah, not through the centre, but just through the side. Yeah, now when I ask them, do you remember coming to Leeds to see us? Yes. Did you go through Manchester? Went through the side of Manchester, right? Now, I show them the map, because Manchester used to go Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds. Manchester, from your perspective, is all the way over here now. Sheffield is here, below Manchester I think, and Leeds is here. So Manchester's just moved. After I show them this, they turn around and they go to me, oh no, we must not have gone through it. But you just said you did. Yeah, I think what's happening, you know Regato Bonner, forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong, mate, but I've seen where you say people auto-correct. What I think it is, I think it's the Matrix is, I think it is like self-correction, auto-correcting codes. Do you get what I mean? I don't really know too much what I'm talking about here, but I'm trying to get the theory to you. It's like, I can't explain it. Yeah, you tell them, they remember it one way, and you tell them, and it actually changes their memory. And now, I asked again a while ago, a couple of days ago, yeah, and the memory is set as it has been changed. Do you get what I mean? So, it's like it never happened. But yeah, Manchester's moved. Let me add one other thing, right? Between Manchester, or from your perspective, between Manchester and Sheffield, yeah, there is a national park called the Peak District. It wasn't there before. Where it was, I don't know. After this video, I'm going to go and lick a window. I don't know, right? But what I do know is it weren't there. I know this. I know it wasn't there, and now it's in between them. Peak District, right? Yeah, but down the bottom of the country, you got Brighton, yeah, and all across the top of Brighton for fucking miles, yeah, I ain't walking it, miles and miles and miles, there's forests appeared, Greenland, national parks, high wealds, or whatever it is. Now down in the northeast southwest, this is how thick I am, in the southwest you got Exmoor and Dartmoor. Now I used to go there as a kid when I was like really little. My nan used to take me down there, and I remember it being down there. But down the south of England, that's all that was there, Exmoor and Dartmoor. But now all across the top of Brighton, if you go on Google Maps, you'll see loads of green, yeah, across the map. All that green weren't there. Now when I ask people, they go, oh yeah, it must have been there. Well, it weren't. I'm telling you, it weren't. I think I'd remember, but this is the thing. But no, let me correct myself. I sent this map to my mother, texted to her. I said to her, do you remember there being, because she lives, like, I don't know, maybe an hour drive from it, something like that. So, and she's lived there all her life. And England, you know, I know England, we all know England, you know, you don't have to be a geography expert to have an idea of a few places, and I'm telling you that weren't there. She turned around and she's gone, no, I don't remember none of it. I don't remember there being any national parks or higher wealds or none of that. She don't remember none of it. When I show her the picture, oh yeah, it must have been there. Make your mind up. Autocorrect. I don't know what's going on. You know, people are blaming this on CERN and the D-Wave computer. I'm not satisfied. I ain't satisfied with it. Most people that are talking about this are saying, oh look, it's Bernstein. If I hear them fucking bears one more time, I will slap you. I'm sick of hearing it. Oh, he's Mayor, John Mayer. I don't give a fuck. Why is this happening? That's all I want to know. Why?
And I'm a little anxious about it. So I hope I've been going over my mind what to tell and stuff. And you know, by the title, you know, it's gonna be about the Mandela effect, which has affected my life since a few weeks. And then it's still, I mean, it's still going around in my head because, as I've told in previous Mandela effect videos, if you haven't seen them, that I have a scientific mind, I have a scientific upbringing, and I have always been taught that the world can be described by maths and I don't know what, and then this happens to me. What I want to talk to you about is the people who don't believe us, or I want to actually direct this video to the people who don't believe us. Me, I haven't had too much trouble in my life at the moment. I am a regular guy who goes to work on a 9-to-5 job, more or less. It's actually an 8 to end of the day, an 8 to end job, but whatever. I have 2 kids where I talked about the Mandela effect, and you know, they had like the Looney Tunes things. They also remember it with 2 O's, but they say, oh, maybe it's misremembering. A few persons, yes, a few dozen also, but thousands of them in the same way, then it's difficult. They always said, oh, but you know, they're all just regular people, there aren't any officials who see this, and the regular people, you know, their minds aren't trained like the officials, and they can see it in the wrong way, and they can perceive it in the wrong way, and remember it in the wrong way, and I don't know what. And they always, you know, brushed it off like that. From the beginning I thought that's strange. I'm gonna tell you, I have a pretty good memory. And I'm gonna tell you something. I remember that my father, he used to work in the mines, in the coal mines, and they retired very early on, but he couldn't stay at home. He was like a workaholic kind of guy. So he went to work for a Ford garage. People who know the Mandela effect knows what's gonna come. They know what's gonna come. Anyway, I remember as a kid I could visit him and stuff, and we went there and I was so happy. And what I remember also was that around that time they had this promotion at that Ford garage, I think at all the Ford garages here in Belgium, and I was fixated on that Ford logo. And I remember it like the Mandela people remember it, without that little pigstay. How we were led to believe that we have weak minds and that our memory can be changed in all kinds of fashions and I don't know what. And I believe that our minds are stronger than we are led to believe. Now, let's go back to that Ford logo and to our memories. The people say that the naysayers and the skeptics say to us, oh, but you're all remembering it wrong. Okay, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions of people, are remembering the Ford logo wrong. It's possible, I believe that. But now listen to this. This is why I chose the Ford, especially the Ford logo, and why I chose that memory that I just told you about. If hundreds of thousands of people misremembered the Ford logo, what would have happened? That little pig's tail, like for 5,000 to 10,000 people, it would have disappeared, and it would have, like we remember it, gone out a little broader, or maybe was a single line or something. But for the rest of the rememberers or whatever, that pig's tail would have moved on the Ford logo. It would have moved to the other side of the F, to the top side of the F. to the D, to the downside of the F. You would have different ways that it would have been misremembered. But that isn't so. Everybody remembers it wrong in the same way. So I don't believe it is misremembering. I believe that we who are affected by the Mandela effect, that we somehow remember either a different reality, or we move to a reality, another reality, or our reality is being tampered with. I don't know yet, but that's what I believe in this case. Now, I'm not here to talk to you or to tell you some proof about the Mandela effect, not this time. There are hundreds of videos that already tell about and residue stuff and all that. And there are people who debunk it or try to debunk it. And you know what? There is an explanation for everything, and different explanations for everything. There is one more thing I would like to say about this. Some of the reactions of the naysayers and the skeptics, they're calling us crazy, to put it mildly. They call us crazy because we believe in something. We believe in the fact that there is something fundamentally changed in this reality. I implore you, don't call us crazy because we believe in something, because we believe in this Mandela effect. This thing is happening. There is something happening. Or at least hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of people believe that something is happening. Deal with it. Accept it. Get over it. Don't just shun us. Don't call us crazy. I have a normal life. I have a 9-to-5 job. I am functioning in this world. Despite that I believe in the Mandela effect. Despite this. So accept it. Just accept it.
And if you've never heard of the Mandela effect, again, I'll advise you to research it first. You can pause this video, Google Mandela effect, Google about quantum physics and the possibility of parallel universes and a multiverse, and then come back and continue watching this. That's the only way you'll fully comprehend. So anyways, I feel like I found the smoking gun. Where I'm concerned, I just feel it in my heart like I found that one piece of evidence that is completely undeniable. See, I'm recording this in Africa, by the way. This is the east side of Africa, my homeland, where I grew up. This is in Kenya, the name of my country. I'm in the capital city, Nairobi, where I grew up and where I still live till now. And growing up in the 90s, I watched a lot of wrestling. I watched a lot of boxing, and I as well watched a lot of action films, because I grew up with a single dad. You know how it is with dads. I never played with dolls. Instead, I was out playing soccer, football with him, and I was out, playing with cars and toys that are for the boy child, because I was with a dad, and it was fun times, yeah? So action films, here in Kenya, we're a British colony. So, of course, America has just dominated the whole film industry everywhere in the world, because of Hollywood. So I grew up watching a lot of James Bond. So I saw something that really frustrated me. Remember that movie Moonraker? Like, this even makes me angry. Like, it sincerely gets me whacked up. Remember Moonraker with the big bad guy Jaws? Remember Jaws? Big metal teeth. Remember that epic scene where he meets the love of his life, Dolly, and they fall, you know, like it's love at first sight, and it was so humorous because he's got metal teeth and she's got braces on. Like, she looks up to him and he looks down on her because she's little, she's petite, she's a naughty looking girl, she's a geek with braces, and he looks down on her and it's love at first sight and they're smiling at one another. She's got braces, he's got metal teeth. That was the whole point of that scene. Like, it's so memorable, I can even picture it right now. And now you want to tell me that scene never happened? You want to tell me that Dolly never had braces on? Come on. Come on. Like, I'm done. That for me is the smoking gun. For me, millions of people, of course, remember that scene. Again, I want to ask you if it's bad memory, if it's a case of bad memory, then how comes millions of people remember the exact same thing? You know? And for me, this is even personal because, see, I have bad teeth. Huh? I got bad teeth since I was a kid. So when I saw that particular scene, I remember just asking my dad, like, hey, that's a pool boy. I remember asking my dad, like, what's that she's wearing in her teeth? And I remember him explaining to me that that's braces. It's meant to, like, line up your teeth. So now I remember that clearly. Like, that is a very vivid memory because I had that conversation with my dad and I remember that scene like it's happened, like it's just happened right now, you know. But now you go to the James Bond website, you go to like the official James Bond website, you go to like the internet, everything you can find on James Bond, and you won't find that scene. I don't know what they're doing at CERN, C-E-R-N, but it's definitely messing up we're having alternate memories. The timelines are shifting for different universes. This might sound crazy, but do the research and you'll realize that you're crazy for not believing it. It's not the rest of us who are experiencing the Mandela effect who are crazy, but you're crazy for thinking that things have always been like that when your memory tells you otherwise, you know, and you can swear it, you know. So now, I don't know what's happening, the glitch in the matrix, the different universes, the different realities, but for me, Dolly not having braces was just it. That was it. Even the color of her dress is now different. Go see that scene, or rather the new scene, or rather the scene that belongs to this universe, not where I'm from. Because where I'm from, that girl definitely has braces. I mean, I'm even afraid of asking my dad about this particular experience, because if he tells me, no, she never had braces, or he tells me, no, we never had that conversation, I'm like, Daddy, remember I asked you what's that, and you told me it's braces made to line up her teeth, and he goes like, I'll be freaked out, you know, because I'll be like, this is not my real dad, like, this is the dad from the other universe, I don't know who you are, sir, you gentleman, I've never, you know, like, I don't want to have that experience with my father, I love him way too much, so I'm not even going to ask him, because I don't want to think I'm crazy when I know I'm not. So
but basically, things that I remember from my childhood are different now. They're not the same. And people are telling me it's always been this way, but not as I remember it. Now, I'm just going to show you what Google has to say about the Mandela effect. Right, now, it says, in 2015, the phenomenon of collective false memory was dubbed the Mandela effect by a self-described paranormal consultant, Fiona Broom. In reference to a false memory she reports of the death of South African leader Nelson Mandela in the 1980s, rather than in 2013, when he actually died. When she claims, basically, she shares this memory with loads of other people. Now, I was too young when this happened, so I don't remember that. But things have changed as far as I'm concerned. One of the main ones for me was the Monopoly Man's monocle. I don't know if you remember, but the Monopoly Man always had a monocle on his eye, which is basically like it's like a magnifying glass. That's it. And I remember the Monopoly Man always having this magnifying glass. If you watch Ace Ventura, I think it's the first one, there's a scene in it where he actually calls a rich man the Monopoly guy. He's like, you must be the Monopoly guy. And the guy is wearing a monocle. And when I found out about this, it sent me a bit mad, because I remember the Monopoly Man having a monocle but apparently he never has. And I've got a box here, it's a Monopoly box. And I remember the Monopoly man having a monocle on this box, on this very box. And now it's not there anymore. So you can understand why I'm a bit confused, really, because I remember that from my childhood. And yeah, there's a lot of other things that have changed as well. But apparently it never has been like that. And yeah, there's a few things why there's a few reasons why this is important. Because some people are saying it doesn't matter, but if things are changing in your reality and they now look different, then it does matter, doesn't it? Like, it's a bit weird that people ain't taking notice of it, because it is pretty serious, I'd say. And there's loads. I don't know if most people would have heard of Star Wars. You know the famous line, Luke, I am your father. Well, it was never Luke, I am your father. It is no, I am your father. You can go and check that for yourself. Darth Vader never said, Luke, I am your father. That was not in the film, never has been in the film, and now C-3PO's got black palms, a red arm, and a silver leg. None of that makes any sense to me, because I grew up watching Star Wars. I know that line, and I know I've quoted it so many times before, and it is Luke, I am your father. I can't explain it. It's just it's crazy. It's madness how reality is just changing. And yeah, I find it very, very, very strange and worrying, really, because people are saying it's because of CERN and Hadron Collider. They're merging us with alternate realities and stuff like that. And I don't know if you've heard about the new physics that's coming out in the science community, but they are finding, apparently, alternate realities and other dimensions around us. And I think that that's one of the reasons why my reality has changed, because this has happened to me at some point in time, and things have changed in this reality. It's like I grew up with Febreze being Febreeze, Febreze, with two E's, and it hasn't got two E's, and it never has had two E's. And I remember, like, seeing it when I'm younger, saying Febreze. Now it's spelt Febreze. That doesn't sound right to me, doesn't seem right. It's just not right. There's something wrong. But yeah, if you've not heard of the Mandela effect yet, and I've brought up a point that you remember, and you think that it either is true, like it's always been that way for you, or it's changed, let me know in the comment section, because it'd be interesting to know, because this Mandela effect thing totally blew me out the water when I found out about it. And yeah, it's pretty strange. So good luck with that, and make sure you have a strong mind if you're going to look into it, because yeah, it can do damage if you haven't got a strong mind, because the implications of what has actually happened are mad, because you remember it. You and I would remember it. I remember it the way that I remember it. The Monopoly man having a monocle right there on his eye, little black circle leading into his jacket. And the most fucked up thing is I remember it on this exact box. Type into YouTube Ace Ventura Monopoly guy, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The guy that he's talking to and he's basically taking the mick out of is wearing a monocle. He doesn't have a top hat like the Monopoly man, so that wouldn't make him look like the Monopoly man. He is wearing a suit, but he also has a monocle. And Jim Carrey actually says, and you must be the Monopoly guy. And yeah, the Monopoly man's never had a monocle. So yeah, look into that. Look into the Febreze one. Look into the Pikachu one. There's loads of other ones, but I can't cover it all in one video. But some you will suffer from and some you won't. I guarantee that. And no one can actually work out why that is. And we're on this mission for the truth. And I want to know what's going on, because this to me is completely freaky. And and worrying as well. Pretty worrying. Because if reality can change just like that, then maybe one day we won't be here anymore. Maybe you won't wake up. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to look into it, make sure you've got a strong mind, because I'm lucky I've got a strong mind, because otherwise I'd be in the loony bin right now. I'd be in Ward 5 taking medication because they think I'm crazy. But I know I'm not crazy. I know I remember it the way that I remember it.